Julia, your character, Emma, is really the first doctor to really confront HIV/AIDS and is really angry at the lack of awareness in both the gay community and in the medical community. How was that rage palpable for you? How did you find that rage? What were you focusing on?
I'm not going to name people's names.
They're all around you right now, don't you?
And I have to see them later. So.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it was, if I could just be very specific, it wasn't her frustration over people's lack of awareness. It was her frustration over people's awareness and indifference.
Absolutely.
And I think for her, it was the fear and the chaos and the confusion and the madness of the polio epidemic all over again. But very concentrated in a group of people that were seemingly very simply cast aside and ignored. And, you know, I don't think she's a woman with a lot of tolerance for that kind of thing. And that's where this great alliance comes from, two really ferocious and relentless people that are not scared off by the idea of isolating themselves or losing friends because they're too loud about something that they are so passionate about.
It was still a time of so much conflict. No one really knew where to turn, how to change things. Talk to me about portraying that conflict with Mark. Because your characters are on the same page in so many ways.
Well, there's, you know, I think that our characters are both trying to accomplish the same things in different ways. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's a writer and I'm a doctor, and you know, it's so frustrating when you feel that you are the only right person in a room. I mean, I've never felt that way. I know these two have. You know, but no, it's that it really lends itself to that kind of ferociousness, and I know that Ryan only hired me because he loves to see me be mad.
Do you think we as a society and a culture have learned from the mistakes that are kind of glaringly obvious when we look back on this time?
Well, I'll speak for myself. I learned from my mistakes, of which there are many, for a period of time. Mm-hmm. And then one forgets, right? So what I love about being part of this and about this moment and about this document, which is what I call this play that Larry has gifted to us, is that HBO is going to bring it into people's homes and either remind us all when we were at our worst for one another, so that we can rise up and do better in remembering what a dark time that was, and also educate people, because there are people now that, you know, were born in 1981 and say, did this really happen? Mm-hmm. Were people really this awful to one another? So to say, yes, we were this terrible, and it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't long ago.
It wasn't that long
not
ago.
Not a question,
It is. It is shocking, and I think we're such a prideful world and nation, and here we are in the 21st century, and we're so brilliant. Well, let's be less brilliant and more loving.
But before we do end, a little trivial, I do want to come back to your dress, Julia, and ask you about this dress. Excuse me, I was told that we have to wrap, but I had forgotten to bring this up.
Thank you. Well, I have 3 children, 2 of them are boys, and they are Star Wars fans, and so since there are no Legos made of me, and I'm not in the Star Wars movies, I have this fabulous preen dress, and my boys think I'm like a superhero when I do something like this for
so
them.
Do we.
Thank you.
Well, happy Mother's Day. That's really great.
There were so many different points of view in the gay community at the time, but they did band together and were really the catalyst in many ways for the civil rights that we have today. I wouldn't be able to get married if it weren't for these people.